Hope everyone is able to hear me clearly. So, how are you guys doing?
We're good, thanks.
Okay, so let's get started. Alright guys, so my name is Ravi and I'm going to be instructor for your batch. Today we have a small demo session. Hello? Yeah. So today we have a small demo session and I'll try my best to introduce you to the whole stuff. Before that, let's get started with a small demonstration. So, so let's first start with a small introduction of everyone. Introduction. We'll have a small introduction of everyone, then topics to be covered in this program, and then we'll have a small demo. So guys, yeah, let's start with each one of you telling your name, what you work on, and your expectations from the course. So basically, name, what you work on, how much you know Hadoop or what you know about Hadoop, and your expectation from this course. So let's start with Alfred. Alfred, I'm unmuting you. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Yeah. Hi Alfred, how are you? Hey, Alfred,
I'm fine, Ravi.
yeah.
I'm fine. Can you hear me, Ravi?
Absolutely, absolutely. You're super clear.
Okay. My name is Alfred Xavier. I have been in this IT industry for the last 15 years, and mostly I kind of worked in many technologies, right? Starting with Java, .NET, Action scripts, and then worked on a bunch of databases like SQL Server, DB2, MySQL.
Okay.
And wherever the fate takes, I keep following that. So I was kind of curious about this big data, and then in my career, I've done a whole bunch of log parsing applications, working with data, and then using threading concepts and all these things. So I thought this is very interesting to see. As far as expectation, I don't know exactly what I'll be doing with this, but it's always, I feel it's better to know stuff rather than being ignorant of things, because everybody is moving towards big data. So that kind of curiosity brought me here.
Okay. So just to kind of make sure that you stay upgraded, that's kind of the initial goal with the training.
Yeah, you never know. In future, if I get a chance to work on Hadoop or whatever the technology is built on, so I should be ready.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Good.
Thanks. That's all.
Yeah. Welcome to the training, Alfred, and yeah, I'll make sure that by the end of the training you will know everything about what Hadoop is, and you will certainly be upgraded.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, Jignesh, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Jignesh,
Sure.
please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yep. I've been with the industry for 14, 15 years. I started my career with Java. So I was trained and I was training others in Java as well. Then I got a consulting opportunity working with big fives and doing some data warehousing and BI. So I was trained in ETL as well as some data warehouse and BI. So that's what's my career. I've been in the management as well as managing the projects, BI analytics projects.
Okay.
The Hadoop, the big data, I've been following Gartner for a long time, and I want to get hands-on to any big data, and I think the Hadoop is the best one. So I worked on some of the open sources tools before, but I want to get them more hands-on the Hadoop.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, welcome Jignesh, and then by the end of this course, you will have a lot of hands-on, so we'll take care of it. Yeah. Welcome to the course. Thanks. All right. Yeah. Hi, Bharat. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, Bharat. I have sent you a code to unmute yourself. Hi, Chand. You could unmute yourself and introduce yourself, or you can basically introduce yourself on the chat. Okay, we have Bharat, who's 8 years on Netiza. DBA, DW, and ETL. So what are your expectations of the class, Bharat? Yeah, hi Chand, please go ahead and introduce yourself. All right, meanwhile, we'll go to Dinakar. Hi Dinakar, please introduce yourself. Hi Dinakar. Yeah, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Okay. Yes, Dinakar is not able to unmute his mic. Anyways, not a problem. Okay, we'll get to Madhu. Hi Madhu, please introduce yourself.
Hello all, my name is Madhu, and Ravi said this is the second time I'm introducing myself. The last time I introduced and I could not attend the sessions because I was traveling from US to India and I had finals week, and this time, yes, I have 3 years of experience. I'm a master's student at Oklahoma State University, and I'm familiar with terms like big data and other stuff, but my expectations out of this class is to get my hands dirty like Jignesh said, and to start my career in Hadoop.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Madhu, and welcome to the class.
Thank you.
And yeah, by the end of the course, you will certainly have your hands completely dirty. All right. Welcome. All right. Then we have Mahesh. So we have Chand. Chand is introduced. Chand is 3 years of Teradata and wants to learn Hadoop. Basically wants to get introduced to Hadoop and learn it. All right, awesome. Yeah, the next one is Mahesh. So we have Dinakar. Okay, Dinakar is, yeah. So, yeah, hi Mahesh, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Hi Mahesh. Hi Mahesh, please introduce yourself.
Needs 3 tickets for the ride. Each ticket costs 25 cents. How much does it cost to ride the tilt-a-whirl? After riding the tilt-a-whirl, he is tired and decides to take a ride on the train. He needs 5 tickets for the ride. Each ticket costs 25 cents. How much does it cost to ride the train?
Go ahead, Margot. Yeah. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, Margot.
Yeah, I can barely hear because I'm riding in a car.
Okay.
With an
Can you hear me
iPad.
now?
A little better, yes. I'm a statistician. Trying to sell my services freelance, and I've been looking at data, the LinkedIn data mining group for a long time, a couple of years now, and I thought I should get a feel for what Hadoop does. I haven't worked with big data, but I think I may in the future.
Okay, awesome. Welcome to the class, Margot, and yeah, by the end of this course, you will certainly have a complete picture of what Hadoop is.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Meera, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Yeah, Meera, go ahead and introduce yourself. All right, I guess Meera's mic has some problem. Yeah, Naras. Please go and introduce yourself, Naras. So Naras is 10 years in Oracle, PL SQL, and so on. Yeah. All right. So what are the expectations, Naras? So we have Neeraj, who's 12 years. He's a DBA. Wants to learn Hadoop. Yeah. Hi, Meera. Go ahead. Go ahead, Meera. Put on chat. No problem. So while Meera puts it on chat, let's have Funny. Hi, Funny. Go ahead. Yeah, Funny. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everybody. This is Fani. I'm doing my master's in computer science at Central State University. I'm thinking to do my stat paper, which is kind of a thesis on Hadoop, and then start my career on Hadoop. I'm currently working as an intern, which works on PLSQL developer.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to learn Hadoop and start my career.
Okay. Welcome, Funny, and yeah, certainly this 40 hours course will certainly add a lot of value to you. Yeah, Meera, go ahead. All right, so we'll go next to Mr. Raghu. Hi, Raghu. Hi, Raghu. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Ravi. Hi, Satish. I'd like to start
Hello?
by thanking you all for... Hello?
Hello? Yeah, Raghu, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'd like to start by thanking you both for conducting this session. It's my 28th year in IT now, and for the last 6 years I've been focusing on Teradata.
On Teradata?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm primarily Teradata DBA.
Okay.
Looking to move to, basically right now, at this moment I'm looking to Hadoop, I'm trying to see if I can go after niche by learning Hadoop because it's coming on a lot of job requirements. So just trying to see if I can pursue a career in Hadoop after having worked on a wide variety of databases.
Okay, all right. So we have Meera, she's 10 years and 10 years experience into market research, and basically probably wants to learn to basically getting it to it. Okay. So we have Mr. Rajesh, who's 12 years into MS technologies, completely out and out a Microsoft guy. Okay. Okay. Probable career in Hadoop. All right. Okay, awesome. So Samvit, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Yes, Samvit, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello.
Samvit, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Is it audible?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you, Samvit. Go ahead. Okay, Samvit, your voice is not clear. Can you put on chat? Okay. Yeah, hi Sindil. Hey Sindil, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Sindil and Suman, you guys, whoever, yeah, can unmute quickly and introduce yourself. Or else you guys can put on chat and I shall introduce you to the class. All right. Yeah, please let your introduction come on and I'll basically put it here. Dinakar, please introduce yourself. Divakar, you're there? Yeah, hi Sindil, go ahead. No, I'm not able to hear you. Just a minute. Yeah, I have unmuted you, Dinakar. Tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, this is Dinkar. I have 8 years of experience as Oracle ERPDB and Oracle DBA. And I would like to learn Hadoop and would like to have a hands-on experience on Hadoop.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Have exposure to Hadoop and totally 8 years of experience. Okay. All right, Samvit and Suman, please go ahead and introduce yourself, what you call, and I shall put your introduction. All right, guys, let's get to the course. And now, so we are introduced. We have a great set of people from all the different, variations. Now let's look at the course. Now the course is 40 hours. Starts with Hadoop fundamentals. Then we touch Hadoop development. Then we touch Hadoop BI, and then we touch Hadoop administration. Let me run you through the whole schedule of the course. So we start with what is big data. We'll then talk about what are characteristics of big data, how big data became so big, and we'll have a detailed discussion on what exactly is big data. Then we'll talk about Hadoop. We'll get into what is Hadoop. Then we'll talk about what is HDFS and what is MapReduce. After that, the next topic that we will cover is the Hadoop ecosystem. And it's totally a 40-hour class where we'll have, so after we introduce you to big data, Hadoop, HDFS, MapReduce, we'll talk about Pig, Hive, Flume, Scoop, and Uzi. So these are the 5 ecosystem projects that we cover. After that, we will start with setting up a virtual machine and installing Hadoop on a pseudo distributed board. So I'll be passing you once what you call virtual machine like this, and you can basically set up Hadoop and everything there. So we'll be doing that everything in the class. Day 4, we will focus on running your first MapReduce program. We'll do Scoop hands-on and Flume hands-on. Day 5, we will go to Amazon and we'll purchase 3 computers and we'll set up a multi-node cluster. Day 6, we will talk about what is that you should be thinking when you are starting a new Hadoop project and what all should be the considerations that you should have. Day 7, we will have a complete code walkthrough of the MapReduce program. We'll talk about what is a driver, mapper, and reducer. Day 8, we go really deep into MapReduce and we talk about advanced power tools like combiners, partitioners, input formats, output formats, distributed cache counters. Day 9, we will get into the most common design patterns of Hadoop or MapReduce: sorting, searching, inverted indexes. Day 10, we talk about TF, IDF and co-occurrence program. Day 11 and 12 is hardcore hands-on on MapReduce. So you'll be writing few programs on MapReduce. Day 13, we go very deep into Pig. So we've completed the developer part and now we are into big BI part. We will cover Hive in detailing Pig in detail. And on day 14th, we will have a complete hands-on on Hive and Pig. So there will be an advanced Hive and Pig hands-on. Day 15th, we'll have advanced Hadoop concepts like yarn, federation, authentication, high availability. We'll just touch base them. And last round or the last lap of the course is administration. So we will basically have scheduling, monitoring, administration. At the end of the course, there are like couple of tests that you need to take, and then that will let you evaluate where do you stand in this particular subject. So this is the schedule for next 20 days in the class. We have a question. Can you hear me, Naras? Yeah. So we have a question that where does Zookeeper come into picture? So Zookeeper is basically something that is what you call, okay. The best way to explain is this. So let's say you're building a car, okay, and there are few parts which are kind of, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You take it for granted that they are already there and they will take care of the whole stuff. Similarly, in Hadoop or in typically Zookeeper is used in HBase big time. So what is HBase? HBase is, what is Zookeeper? Zookeeper is basically a coordination service. See, if you're writing a new distributed application, so let's say you are building a new distributed framework called Alfred, okay. Now, when you're writing a distributed framework, there are so many challenges like resource locking, configuration management. What if two of your masters crash? How will you decide who's the next leader? And there are so many distributed computing challenges. So what Zookeeper is, it's a library, it's a component, it's an app basically that takes care of all your distribution issues. Got it? So let's say you build a new product today, you're free to, and if there are any distributed computing components, you will use Zookeeper to basically coordinate the whole service. Okay. So what happens is if one master goes down, you hit the Zookeeper and say, hey dude, my main guy is down, tell me who is the leader. So Zookeeper actually in a production environment, it is run on odd number machines. So can be 3 or 5, okay. And when it is 3 or 5, what happens is if one of my master goes down, I go to Zookeeper and say, hey, tell me who's the master. So all the 5 Zookeepers will do a voting, okay, just like election. And the majority will tell that, okay, this is the master. So let's say out of 5, 3 people say that, okay, this guy is the master, then that means it's a master. So in a lot of places you will hear Zookeeper is the guy who tells you the truth. He is the guy who tells you the truth. Got it? Yeah. So is the course content clear? Now, before we go to a sneak peek of what do you call the course, we will have a 10-minute sneak peek. I give you guys 5 minutes. If you have any questions, let's take those questions for 5 minutes, and then I'll give you a sneak peek of the presentation, basically. Any questions that are in your head, you've looked at the course and content, anything that comes into your mind, feel free to ask questions, and in 5 minutes, yeah, so guys, for timing and schedule, Satish will be getting back to you with the schedule and the timing. Okay. So Satish will share the timings and schedules and all other details. Yeah, please don't worry about it. So Satish, if you could just respond to everyone whenever after the session with the timings and schedule, that will be great, Satish. Yeah, guys, you'll be having it. Yeah. Any other question looking at the course and probably, yeah, okay, this is what you're looking at, or this is what is not there, this is what is there, and any other questions, just feel free to ask. Yeah. If not, let's get to the presentation. Let's get to the presentation ceremony. Give me a minute, Bharat. All right, guys. So let's have a small sneak peek. So we start presentation with a small introduction. We'll talk about what is big data. We'll talk about what is Hadoop. So we'll just have a part of this presentation. We cannot run the whole thing. Hadoop ecosystem, HDFS and MapReduce deeper dive, and we'll have your questions. So let's start with what you call introduction. In this particular session, we'll typically introduce you to big data. We'll introduce you to Hadoop. We'll introduce you to Hadoop, explain how Hadoop works, get friendly with HDFS and MapReduce, get aware of Hadoop ecosystem, and understand how Hadoop is used in real world. A bit of my profile. I'm around 7 years of IT experience, 2 years of corporate trainings, Cloudera certified Hadoop developer and administrator. Oops, I need to add one more. I just wrote it 2 days back, so sorry. Yeah, so I basically have some knowledge on MapR also. All right. Now let's talk about what is big data. So before we get into what is big data, let's talk about why does it deserve your attention? Why is it that it's a weekend evening, and we all have gathered here and we are talking about big data on a weekend? Why is it so important? As per IDC, big data market will be $24 billion by 2016. Big data would create 4.4 million new jobs in 2 years from now. Now forget 2 years from now or 3 years from now. As of this very moment when we are talking, as of this very moment, United States alone is facing a shortage of 200,000 big data professionals. So either you are a startup looking for your next big opportunity in terms of revenue. If you're a guy working and you're looking at, the next big thing for your career, or if you are a big manager in a big company and you're looking for next revenue stream, big data is the place. There is going to be a lot of jobs created. There is going to be a lot of new roles created. I'm sure you guys would have heard of data scientists, data stewards, data architects. These guys will become more and more popular. Now let's talk about what is big data. In the most layman terms, big data is any amount of data that is beyond the storage and processing capability of a single physical machine. If you had all the money, all the resources, there is still a limitation on how much hardware can you buy on a single machine. On a single physical server, there is a limit to how much RAM you can have, and there is a limit to how much storage hard disk you can have. Okay. Now, what big data talks about is, it talks about data that is like terabytes and terabytes of data, where one machine is not capable of handling this much data. So data that is extra large volume comes from variety of sources and comes with a great velocity. Okay, is big data. So these are 3 characteristics of big data. Let's look at them. The first one is volume. For data to be referred as or qualify as a big data, generally the data has to be massive. The volume of the data has to be massive. Second is variety. For data to be referred as big data, typically, now volume is the most important. Typically, data would come from variety of sources and in variety of formats. So far, we've always seen data to be in rows and columns, but that's not the case in big data. Third is velocity. For data to be referred as big data, the rate at which data comes into your system is really, really fast. Okay. So basically, the idea here is simple that, let's take example of Facebook. It generates like few terabytes of data every day. So the data that is getting generated every day is massive. So the velocity of the data is really, really high. Let's quickly visualize big data. You have a good physical server, but the amount of data that it has to process is bigger than that. That's volume. Data comes to you at tremendous speed, and that's velocity. Data comes to you at from variety of sources, and that is variety. These are 3 V's of big data. So this is big data. I guess we have a question. Can you guys hear me clearly or it's not audible? Are you guys able to hear me clearly? Okay. So far everything is clear. We all are clear on what is big data. Everybody sure? Okay, then answer my question. All right, so a small quiz. One minute, okay? All right, answer this question. Yeah, guys, go ahead, answer your question. Okay, let's say the data growth is flat. It's not going to be massive. Let's say the data is going to be, it's not going to crazily increase. So I've not mentioned that. It's going to be like, okay. Exactly. So the answer is we should not be looking at big data because it is like overkill. Okay. When I can already process 10 terabytes of data, my data is 2 terabytes and it's not going to increase big time. That's one dimension. Why should I really go for big data? Doesn't make real sense. Performance for what? I mean, see, you will get better performance, agree to an extent, but the investment is way too huge, Raghu, for this to be made sense. So you already have, let's say, a license from one of the DW guys. Now, moving to this, that means you're not using that license only for 2 terabytes of data, rewriting all your ETL scripts and then training your people. I mean, it's way too overkill to basically process it. Guys, the point I'm trying to make is, I'll tell you one thing. In one sentence, is this clear in one sentence? Big data starts where traditional data warehouses give up on size of data. All right. So guys, if your data is not that much, don't consider that in your project. You will end up burning your fingers. You will end up wasting a lot of money. Okay. Don't come to the table at all unless you have 50 terabytes of data. Got it? So as an architect, you will have to make these tough choices. So make sure that you have the 3V's framework very clear in your head. Now, over the period of time, few of my students have asked really fantastic questions, and I'll use those questions to paint the complete picture. The first question is, well, big data is clear, it's fine, but how does this data look like? Can I see that data and say, okay, this is big data? The answer, there is no defined set as to how big data looks like. Big data can look anything like an RFID systems generated file, weblogs. It can just be anything that's massive in size. What do I do with this data? Well, analyze it. The tough part is, why should I analyze it? You are asking me to analyze data that is typically in my weblogs. My business is running fine. My transactions are doing good. I am having customers. Now you're asking me to analyze all those log files, and for that you want me to invest in clusters, training, and everything. Why should I do it? Why should I take the pain of analyzing data that is not transactional? In this huge heap of data, there are golden nuggets of vital information. Analyzing this data can give businesses an edge over competitors. So analyzing this data can basically give you an unfair advantage in the business field. Next generation wars are going to be between companies is going to be on the data that you have. Okay, data is really, really important. Now, if you analyze this data properly, your business can get a big push. The best example is Amazon. Now, what does Amazon do? They basically take every click, every browsing page browsed into history for every user, and based on that they give you recommendations. So go to Amazon and search for an Xbox game, and suddenly the system figures out that, okay, you must be the guy who's gaming. Now if that is the case, the whole site basically calibrates itself or improvises itself to be more like all the gaming promotions. And let's say you end up having, let's say, a 1-year-old baby boy whose nappies you bought recently. Amazon figures out, okay, that this guy is called Mark and he has a kid who's 1-year-old. And next time when Mark, let's say, goes to the site, he sees all the recommendations for that particular data or something like all baby products. And that's where Amazon ends up making more money. Can we have some use case of analyzing big data? A lot of it. We've just spoke about one, that is analyzing your e-commerce data. You can analyze your brand social media reputation, identifying the customers who are most important on different parameters, identifying the best time to perform a certain maintenance. How can such huge data be analyzed? That's fine. I understand big data, that's fine. How can I analyze such a huge data? Now, as the volume is beyond the processing and storage ability of a single physical machine, some distributed way has to be used. Wait. Distributed systems like MPP, MPI have been around for more than a decade. So do we even need to see this presentation further? Does the world really need another distributed system? Do we need to take this course further? The trainer is only talking about a distributed system. Since our college days, we've been hearing about distributed systems. And does the world really need another distributed system? Well, the world certainly needs another distributed system. Let's see why. So the distributed systems that we know, typically they work in this fashion. So they have their storage servers, they have application servers on top, and all the data is read from the storage area network. That's like a common storage. Okay, so the flow was programs run on each app server, all the data is on storage area network. Before execution, each server gets output from SAN, and after execution, each server writes the output to the SAN. Now, what are the problems with typical distributed system? Let's see. Huge dependency on network. You are storing 10 terabytes of data, and for processing, you are again going to read that much data and pass it across the cluster, that is across the network. Bad idea. Your network is going to get choked up. You are reading 10 terabytes of data on the network. Scaling up and scaling down is not a smooth process. You write a program in typical distributed systems for 3 machines. Can I add another 300 machines? Will the program work? No, it will not work out of the box. You'll have to make some modifications. Partial failures are very, very difficult to handle in this particular case. So you put up 50 machines, and what if machine number 33 fails? It's over. A lot of processing power is spent on transporting data. The major muscle power that we are spending is on transporting data. Data synchronization is required during exchange. Okay, so you also need to make sure that all the nodes know what other nodes are doing. So these were 5 major challenges, what you call, in a typical distributed system. That's where Mr. Hadoop comes into picture. So here's the Spider-Man who's going to save everybody. So that is, so Hadoop is nothing but another distributed system. So far what we've covered is problem with typical distributed systems. Typical distributed systems. What is the data? Why it is so hot? And we've covered what is the data. We'll stop here. This was a small sneak peek. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed it. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. Yeah. No, Xavier. So Xavier's question is Hadoop only for data analysis, or is it for transactional data and all that stuff? Hadoop is not a transactional system. It is not a transactional DB. Hadoop is more like a data warehouse. Let me just answer this question by pulling up one of the slides from the course that we will be doing. Let me directly pull one of the slides. So this will give you complete perspective. So where does Hadoop typically fit in an enterprise? So this is how typical enterprises look like. Okay, you have your web servers, you have your OLTP, you have your ETL process, and you have your OLTP, and then you have your reporting. Now in Hadoop, it's gonna be this way. You will have your web servers, you will have your OLTP and data coming from some more sources, and all the data gets into Hadoop cluster, and the Hadoop cluster is going to process that data and put it in an OLAP, and that's how it works. So this is ETL, extraction transformation load, ETL. Got it? So does it answer your question, Alfred? Hadoop is not going to sit here anytime. It is going to only sit as a DW kind of a thing. Okay, hope the slide makes it clear to you. Yeah. Okay. Then we have Chan saying that what are the what do you call prerequisites to learn the course? Actually nothing, a bit of Linux commands and a bit of what you call a bit of knowledge of any programming language. Basically, how does a program work? That's it, the flow, and rest I'll take care of. So there are no major what you call prerequisite. A bit of Linux commands. That's it. Chand, you don't necessarily need to have the knowledge for Java or C++. Yeah. No, MapR and MapReduce are not same. MapR is a company and MapReduce is just a programming framework. Yeah, Naras, I can probably do that when there is a full class, because there will be a lot of details that will be explained along the class. Yeah. Yes, the course will help you, not directly, but will give you enough details so that a bit more preparation and you can write the certification. Yes, Chand, it is pretty much in detail. Both the admin and development courses are in detail. Okay. The whole course contains development properly and admin properly. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yes, we will be writing a few MapReduce programs. Yes. Mahesh, Satish will get back to you on that. So the question is, how about hands-on? Okay. So here is what you will be doing in hands-on. So we have a proper PDF that will be given to you. Okay. And it will have all the exercises in the training. Okay. Yeah, Rajesh, in that case, you will need the virtual machine. So I'll be giving virtual machine away to everyone for the training, guys. Don't worry about it. You will get a virtual machine like this. Got it? Alfred, yeah, Satish will send it across to you. Satish will soon email it to you. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. If I guess we've answered all the questions. Yeah. If there are no questions, I guess we are done with the demo, guys. So, yeah. Is there any machine requirement for VM? Not exactly, but make sure your laptop is after 2007 because your motherboard has to support the virtualization. So a Windows laptop with 64 would be great, but we can try it. Yeah, I guess everything will be okay with that. Yeah. Not a problem, Alfred. Yeah, it's my pleasure. All right, guys. Yeah. See you in the class. Satish will send you all the details that you require for the course. And thanks for deciding to spend 1 hour of your precious time on this. I sincerely appreciate that. It is really great that you guys gave an opportunity to present as to what we teach, how we teach, and we gave you a sneak peek also. So see you at the class, guys. Take care. Yeah. Thanks, Madhu. Take care. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Raghu. Thanks, Suman. Thanks, Rajesh. Yeah. Thanks, Naras. Thanks, Chand. All right. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. Take care, guys.